How's it going, everybody? This is MrNoobTubeGamer back again with another video. And in this video we're going to be doing some reminiscing. We're going to be very nostalgic in this video because today is October 1st, 2016. Now that might seem like a very insignificant date for a lot of you people, but for me, I remember that day very fondly 3 years ago today, October 1st, 2013. You see, I've been playing GTA for a while, before that date, playing the single player, but I was really, really hyped for GTA Online. That was actually the only reason why I actually got Grand Theft Auto 5. Because I thought the single player looked great, but the online looked phenomenal. I looked at the trailer, I saw everything, I'm like, wow, it just looks so awesome. It's going to be great. So, I waited for October 1st to come because, as a lot of you guys know, if you played GTA back when it came out, back when it was only on the 360 and PS3, you'd remember that on the 17th of September in 2013, that's when the game came out, but the online mode was not yet available. They said it would come 2 weeks later, which was, of course, October 1st. And when it came out, everyone was hyped for it, and since everyone was hyped for it, everybody was on, and since everyone was on, it was a total fucking mess. Because somehow Rockstar didn't expect so much traffic. The servers weren't able to handle all the traffic, even though it was pretty much the biggest game of that year, right? It was bigger than even Call of Duty. It was bigger than any game that came out that year, and I'm certain of that. But unfortunately, Rockstar wasn't prepared somehow, even though they should have known that all those players were going to be on there, and they should have been prepared for all that traffic to come in, which is something I don't even understand in general. Like, okay, if an online game comes out, how come whenever it comes out, no matter what game it is, well, not every game, some games actually are adequately prepared, but a lot of games, like, Battlefield 4, Grand Theft Auto Online, obviously, and a whole bunch of other games, whenever they come out, they're an absolute fucking mess, right? Like, whenever a Call of Duty game comes out, like, there are a lot of issues, but it has nothing to do with the connection, right? Like, you can never not find a lobby on launch day in Call of Duty. So Activision's got their shit together, but a whole bunch of other companies, like Rockstar, whatever have you, they just don't have their shit together at all. And it's kind of sad. And that was definitely the case with Grand Theft Auto Online. I'm sure everyone who played back then knows what I'm talking about. On launch day, you couldn't even get in to a lobby at all. You couldn't get in. I remember, like, you know how, like, if you hold the bottom button on the D-pad, it, like, you could basically how you switch from Trevor to Franklin to Michael, that button. And on the bottom you can go to, switch to Grand Theft Auto Online. I keep doing that, and I kept doing that, and I kept doing that, and I kept doing that. Like, for a few hours, actually. Like, on and off. I kept trying it. Because I remember back then I was actually still playing the single player, so I had something to do, but it was still pissing me off because, like, okay, single player is great, but I wanted to play the online. And the online was so fucked that day, and I was so disappointed because I paid $60 just to play the online, really. Like, sure, I enjoy the single player, but the online was really what I was looking forward to. I didn't give a fuck about the single player, really. I just thought the single player was an added bonus. And most people will be like, oh, well, the single player is the best part of the game. The online is supposed to be the added bonus to it. But like I said, I disagree. I'm an online guy, to heart. I prefer gaming online. I prefer playing online against other people. I like competitive multiplayer. Everybody who subscribed to my channel knows that. They know that I prefer games that have single player and multiplayer over games that only have single player. And yes, I do enjoy a lot of multiplayer-only games, just because a lot of games that are well-known for their multiplayer have a shitty campaign anyway. So I just feel like it's a waste of resources to have the single player campaign anyway. Uh, for example, Battlefield. Can you name one Battlefield campaign that was actually good? Because I can't. Call of Duty. Yeah, I mean, their campaigns are okay. I actually like them. But the problem with their campaigns is that they're so short and they don't really offer a lot. They're more like a movie that it's like a it's like a movie that you can play except all you do is shoot people. Like there's nothing else to it. It's just shooting people. I'm never hooked onto any of the characters in the game, and I guess the only exception to that was in Modern Warfare 2. I loved Ghost and I love I thought Shepard was great. I thought all these characters were compelling. But I think as soon as the Modern Warfare series was finished, people stopped giving like Call of Duty developers stopped giving a fuck about their story mode. Which, okay, I guess to a degree I can't blame them, but it's also disappointing. Because the Modern Warfare series, in terms of story, was amazing. Right? I thought Modern Warfare 3 was absolute shit, but I thought the campaign was phenomenal. I thought it was a great way to end the series. Black Ops. Black Ops 1 had an amazing story. Black Ops 2, on the other hand, their story was decent, but is nothing on par with the first one. And Black Ops 3's story was just very, very, very lazy. Probably the laziest campaign in any Call of Duty game so far, you know? But the point I'm trying to make here is that I really love playing online games. So that's the only reason why I was so hyped for Grand Theft Auto Online. And when it came out, I couldn't even find a lobby. And it wasn't just that. Like, once I was able to actually connect to a lobby, I got disconnected after a few minutes. And if that wasn't happening, it was just it was just a whole fucking mess back then. If you guys remember the PS3 360 days of Grand Theft Auto Online, then you guys knew how fucking bullshit it was. Holy shit, was it bad. Like, oh my god. Not being able to connect to a game, not being able to do anything really. And then I remember the maybe like a few days after it came out, the servers were finally like, I wouldn't say fixed, but they were better, so you were actually able to connect to a game. And then when I was actually finally able to connect to a game, I was playing a lot of Grand Theft Auto. Oh my god, I played it so fucking much, it was pretty bad. The amount of time I put into that game. And then I remember I reached like about level 30, and they deleted my character off the servers. I was so pissed off. If you guys don't remember when that was happening, basically characters were randomly deleted from the Rockstar servers and there was no way to recover them. And I was livid when that happened. I spent so much time into that game and it just turned to shit. All my progress was erased and I was really, really, really upset about that. I was really upset. So, I actually stopped playing Grand Theft Auto Online for a full month because I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna actually restart this bullshit. Like, because I put so much time into it, and all my time was pretty much erased. I don't feel like starting all over again, making a brand new character all over again. I just don't want to do it. But like I said, after a month, I eventually caved in, and I did do that. And I kept playing the game for a very long time. My interest in Grand Theft Auto Online was pretty much held from, the end of 2013 until maybe the middle of 2015. That's pretty much the time when I actually enjoyed Grand Theft Auto. I was involved in the community. You guys remember I made a good amount of GTA 5 videos. And, I loved Grand Theft Auto. I thought it was amazing, when it was good. And I don't know. I think the idea of being in an open world, being able to customize your own cars and customize, a lot of things in the game, the way your character looked, even though the character creation in Grand Theft Auto Online is a little shitty. But the fact that you can customize it, and you can, customize your clothes and, your weapons and your cars, I think that was the main thing, the customization. If you're not into customizing things, then Grand Theft Auto was very tiring after a while. And but my interest in Grand Theft Auto was maintained for a very, very, very long time. The new updates, I thought they were great. I think the one I remember the most was the High Life update. That was like amazing because like you were able to pretty much get a second apartment, which back then, oh my god, you can buy a second apartment because everyone's garages were filled back then because everyone loved cars. I think now you can have 5 garages in Grand Theft Auto. I'm not too sure because I haven't played in quite a long time. The last time I played Grand Theft Auto was when I did a live stream playing it around February or March, which is pretty long ago. And that's actually the footage that I'm using for this video because I tried to get back into it and I just can't, right? But the only reason why my interest was maintained for that time was because, like I said, the updates were good. I enjoyed them a lot. They were very expensive, but they weren't like crazy expensive. Like there was one update that was really expensive, like the High Life update. I remember had like a supercar that was like, the Zen Torno. It was like $720,000, and back then that was like one of the most expensive cars you can get. Now these new cars cost like $2-3 million. So I'm like, what the fuck? Dude, back then the Adder or Bugatti, whatever you want to call it, that was the most expensive car. And I got it. And I felt so accomplished. But then everyone was buying shark cards, so everyone had a supercar. I don't think too many people who have supercars actually got it legit. They just got the shark cards, and that's part of the reason why I lost my interest in Grand Theft Auto, because everyone was buying shark cards. Or it's not even the fact that everyone was buying it, it's because later in the game, like the most recent updates, for example, the game has just gotten like every single update, back to back to back to back to back. Every single update, you have to spend at least $15 million cash, in online cash to get every item. And anybody who has played the missions and anything you could really use to get money in the game, it's just not efficient. You have to grind and grind and grind and grind and grind. Well, people might be saying, what about heists? What about heists? Let me tell you something about heists. Okay, when Grand Theft Auto Online came out, everyone was wondering where the fuck the heists were. And the heists were never there. They're like, oh, they're coming soon. And then a few months later, they said, oh, it's coming it's coming soon. They keep saying that, they kept saying that, and they kept saying that, and then after a while, I just figured that they weren't coming, right? But they did. They came around like mid-2015. The only reason why my interest in the game was maintained was because they re-released it on the PS4. I bought it again on the PS4. I even pre-ordered it on the PS4. And people might be saying, you just got the game a year ago. Why are you buying the remastered version of it? Well, it wasn't just the fact that it was remastered. They actually made a lot of like good changes to it. Like, there was new radio station. The first person mode was fucking amazing. Like, I thought it was just gonna be like a cheap, like kind of like mod style first person mode, like very, very cheap. But it was actually very efficient. Like, there were a lot of times where I was actually playing online in first person, and it was fucking fun. Like, watch my older videos back from 2014, 2015. You'll know what I'm talking about. I had a lot of fun playing Grand Theft Auto on the PS4 compared to the PS3, just because of that first person mode. And of course, the game looked a lot better, a lot prettier. The graphics in Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PS3 wasn't that amazing. Obviously. And people were wondering, like, why isn't it on the PS4? Because it came out on the PS3 and 360, like, a month before the new consoles came out. So it got outdated very fast. But I think Grand Theft Auto was the main reason why those consoles stayed alive for so long. But once the heist started rolling around, I'm like, okay, this game's going to be good now. But oh my god, the heists were an absolute disaster. And I know a lot of people might be, like, saying, how can you say that? Well, okay, at first the heists were very cool. It was cool playing the heist for the first time. Right? But playing heist a second, third, or fourth time isn't fun. You just do it so you can get money. Right? And finding 3 other people to work with in the game is a pain in the ass. Right? Because the only way you're going to be able to play heists is if you know people that you're playing with. And I've done those heists before, with people I know. But most of the time, playing with random people is just a disaster. Because because I'm sure a lot of you know that have been paired up in random heists. A lot of you know that a lot of them don't have microphones, So there were a lot of times when I was playing with random people because obviously, you can't have people to play with all the time. So that one, those instances where you don't have people to play with and you're just playing alone and you still pair up with random people though because you want to get money in the game. Right. So when I did that, it was a disaster because I was the only one with a microphone and nobody was listening to what I was saying. I remember the Humane Labs heist was such a disaster. Oh my god. Because the Humane Labs heist, I think it was like the third heist because there were 5 heists in the game. And the third heist, the Humane Labs raid, you go to the lab and it's pretty much stealth based, You have to take everyone out undetected. So I'm sure you know that with random people, it doesn't work because you have to communicate with them. And if they're not listening to you and they don't have a mic, it's just horrible. Even if they do have a mic, it's just the miscommunication is just it's always gonna happen in that game. And I don't know if I can really blame Rockstar for it, but I don't know if the heist delivered. I don't know if it was worth waiting a year and a half for. Is what I'm trying to what I'm trying to convey to you guys. I don't really think that it was worth it waiting a year and a half for something that really should have been there on release date, and they weren't even that rewarding. Because if you were playing a heist and you weren't the leader, a lot of times you just get shafted, you know. And it's just the heists. The heists were good, but they got boring. Yeah, pretty fast, I'd like to say. But after the heist came, I was really tired of it. And the last time I actually extensively played GTA, like I remember when the free mode update came out, I checked it out, and I didn't really give a fuck about it at all. Like it was nothing special. And then they took out the original events in the game. Like the car dealership one, where like you have like a special car in the map, and everyone like has to fight over it. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. Basically, there's a car that spawns in the game, and everyone has to try to get it to the garage. Simone's garage, and everyone had to go fight and try to get it to get paid for it and to get XP. And then the crate drops. Oh my god, the crate drops. The San Andreas special event where you can get the T-shirts from San Andreas. Oh my god, everyone was fighting over it, and it was such bullshit because like, okay, a crate drops and literally everyone in the lobby was fighting each other over it. I thought it was fucking ridiculous, and it kind of sucks that was the only way you were able to get it. But it was still fun. More fun than this bullshit that, all these free mode events. It's just too much of... GTA went from, like, a simple game, when it first came out. Now it's just a total clusterfuck. With the free mode update and all these other updates. All these cars, all these little, all these tanks, all this, these bulletproof cars. It just got way too crazy and out of control. And I understand they have to release new vehicles and cars to keep the game interesting, but I just think it got too crazy. Like, being in a Grand Theft Auto session, the only way you can really kill people is if you had a tank or a jet. And what I hated the most about one of the newer updates was the fact that, like, if you had a tank, you couldn't even kill people with it now. Now the tank is probably the most useless like weapon vehicle in the game because it's slow and there's a marker on the map that tells people that you're in a tank. And I just thought that was kind of stupid because in real life, you're not gonna have a marker on your map saying, "Oh, a tank's coming." It just comes. No, but I have a lot of great memories with Grand Theft Auto. A few of them include, I remember the 4th of July update. I was fucking around with that musket and, the firework launcher. That was kind of cool. And I remember the Christmas updates, when the snow comes. Those were always fun. What else do I have? Just fucking around in first person was always fun. I have a lot of great memories from Grand Theft Auto Online. I'd like to play again, but I just don't have a reason to. It got old. A lot of the new updates, they're just so expensive. You can't even get any of the new items in it. So even with the new updates, it still gets repetitive. But I want to know what you guys, your guys' experience with Grand Theft Auto Online. Do you guys still play it? If you guys don't play it anymore, like me, do you agree with what I'm saying here? Is that the reason why you stopped playing, or is it a completely different reason? I don't know. I just thought it was a nice discussion to have. It's pretty interesting since the game is actually 3 years old. Holy shit, do I feel old? 3 years ago the game came out. It feels like I just started playing the game yesterday. It's crazy how time flies, guys. Like, holy shit. But, anyway, like I said, that's pretty much all I gotta say in terms of Grand Theft Auto Online. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.